Hi everyone, so today I'll be trying out this new BetterPress plate set. It is an exclusive BetterPress 4-petal sunflower frame plate. Now when I say exclusive, I mean exclusive to Spellbinders, like to their site. You can pick it up, but if you have not purchased a BetterPress and you're looking into it, if you pick up the basic BetterPress, bundle, the BP-001, I'll have it linked in the description box, you will receive this free from November 24th through the 30th. So along with all the other Cyber Week and, Black Friday sales that Spellbinders has going on right now, this is another perk that they have added. So this was sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and links in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. And I want to say that when you pick this up, if you want to, go ahead and pick up the BetterPress, like I said, it's not going to work with like a BetterPress bundle. Like there's a bigger bundle that might have other things, or the BetterPress that's in with like the mega bundle that has like the Platinum 6, the BetterPress, and the Glimmer. It has to be the BetterPress by itself. Like I said, it's the BP-001 item. You do have to put this in your cart, okay? So it'll come off, it'll, take off whatever the pricing is. I believe it's $21.99, but you do have to add this to your cart. So I'll have the link for both items, and you will put both items in your cart, and then the price of this one will come off of the cart, okay? But you do have to add it. It's not going to be added automatically, and if you forget to add it, it says here that's, you will not be eligible for the deal if you forget to add it in the cart. So make sure if you're interested on both the UK or the US site, you're going to add it. This is also something they've offered for the UK site. I'm just looking at all the legalese here just to give you the information so that you have that, and don't forget to add this guy. It won't just be added on for you, okay? So just make sure to add that on there. And yeah, I think that's all the info I was looking at from the 24th through the 30th, while stocks, while they're in stock. But it is this beautiful plate and 4-petal sunflower frame. As you can see the sunflowers there in the different corners. This goes back to the die set. There's a dice that looks just like this, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll put the information in the description box if we don't use it today, because I'm pretty sure I'll just go ahead and pop right into using this guy. But it has the wishing you a beautiful day. That's separate. You can use that on another card, another tag, another whatever is topper, whatever, wherever you want to place that. You have that separate from the frame itself. And the frame, it's not a die, it's a plate set. Okay, so I will pull out my BetterPress in just a second, but I wanted to get all that info to you guys before I really started. So it looks like it's 5 1/4 tall, so it's probably, I was gonna say about 4 inches wide. Yeah, it's just a little over 4 inches in some areas, but generally 4 inches wide, so it's a nice mat for like an A2 size card. And then you have your wording. So, I have a basic video for the BetterPress when I first used it, so I'll link that in the description box if you're interested in seeing more about it. But for right now, we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to grab my bag. I have everything in a bag with all the different inks that I have, the plate set, of course, and the tool, and all that kind of stuff. So I think today's a good day too to maybe try out the watercolor paper. I have not tried that before with the BetterPress, but I know the paper that they Spellbinders has for it is a cotton kind of paper, and you can use water-based inks on it. It looks really nice. It's very similar, but it's going to have more, watercolor paper is a little harder. I don't know how to explain that. Where the other one's a little more softer and open, a little more porous, I guess. And then we can try it with that today. Why not? And so let me go grab those items, and I'll be right back. So I brought out the watercolor cardstock again. You can see, it has a texture. It's watercolor card, and it just says harder. We'll try it out. Why not? Right? So it's 300 grams or GSM, 110 pounds, really heavyweight, good stuff. And that's definitely something that works really well in the BetterPress. I'm going to open this up. It looks like, it looks like there's brown paper in it. It's not. It's like something in there to keep it nice and sturdy, which is really nice. I'm trying to cut so I don't end up cutting my watercolor paper. May have not been successful in that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and it's just not a stark white color paper. It has a little creaminess to it. I don't know if you can tell that from just being on camera, but let's grab paper that is, okay, let's say this guy. For whatever reason this is out here, it's white. You can see the other one has a little creamier, right? So there you go. I did go ahead and grab my background or my nesting dies of this shape. Again, I have to find that before I, of course, release the video. It'll be in the description box. I may not cut this down yet to like what I intend to use the A2 size, so maybe I'll go a little bit, or maybe I'll just do A2 size, so like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I always trim down from there anyway. So let's just give this a complete 5 1/2 and a complete 4 1/4 in the other direction. And then if I cut it down or if I trim it down, and if it's maybe a little bit off, I can just make adjustments then instead of having to have it like straight on right now, you know, making sure that's all there. So there we go. And I guess we'll just do black, because if I'm going to color it in, but you know, we have tons of great colors. Let me grab my black ink. Oh, yep, here we go. And let me grab my BetterPress out of the bag here. There we go. Again, the BetterPress, you know, it does letterpressing basically, but you know, just much easier. So what you do is you just take the plate, super easy. I'll probably go ahead and do my wording separate, because I am going to use those dies that I just brought out. I wasn't sure, but if you want to, you can definitely put it on here. Honestly, this is all lined up. If you want to pop this on there, it would probably stay magnetized, and you can just ink it up and use it. I mean, I wouldn't, yeah, I don't know, I think I would. I wouldn't be afraid of this glue here, but anyway. Something to think about. Okay, it's already lined up there. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my plate, and we'll get this guy on here. And I'm using the plate to see kind of where it's going to end up being. That is on there. And I always keep the 3 shims that the plate came with in here, my BetterPress. It might be overkill for some materials, I don't know. I just always keep all 3 just to get the best impression. Again, what happens is this gets ink on it, but it also impresses that into your paper. So you want to use a heavier weight paper. I've used lots of different weights of paper, and it's always great. But I think for the best impression, you can do that. Now, our paper has a side that is more textured and a side that is less textured, and I am going to use the less textured side. You can do whatever you want. You know, it's your project. And I just want to make sure that that lines up pretty well there. That looks good. Okay, so let's get some tape. And I don't know where I put my little donut that usually holds my best ever craft tape. I gotta find it. She has been missing in action for a few days here. So, okay. So with this guy, it doesn't have to be lined up in every sort. You can do it this way. You can turn it over. You can be this opposite way. It's all geometric and great, so that's fine. I can line this up in here to do my tape, you know, as I'm looking at it this way or from the bottom. I'm barely going to put the tape in the very corners just to make sure I'm missing, you know, the image. I don't want it to, my tape to impede that. Actually, I should put this little tape like this way. And just a couple more pieces. And I haven't thought as far as what I'm going to watercolor with, but I have some palettes. I have watercolor, you know, water-based markers. I mean, you can even use Crayola markers, right, if you really wanted to. But, of course, I like to use good quality things here. All right. So black ink. And I'm just going to ink this guy up. And it's just a push and wiggle. So I kind of push down, give it a wiggle, give it a wiggle. Okay. These pads are like felt, if you get, or like a different material, but like fabric. And if you get little strings like this on the sides, just, yeah, you can get rid of them if they end up wanting to come off. But just make sure they're not on your plate, like any little fibers, because they will get the ink on them, and then they'll be on your project, you know. So you might consider that part of the charm. But if you're the type that really wants it just pristine, and then you really want to make sure those little fibers aren't on your plate. Now I'm looking at these areas where it's just like solid, and I'm really making sure there's ink in those areas. I can see in the little sunflowers, it took a little more work to get that ink really on there. So just kind of really focused on that. And we can put this to the side. You don't have to work super fast. It doesn't really dry until when you run it through, then it dries really quickly, which is nice. Bring this guy over. Oh, I got a little paint on my Platinum 6. All right. And we will run her through. Yeah, take your time. You don't have to go too fast or too slow. Just a nice running through there. Look at that. Gorgeous. So I can see I'm right to the edge of this one, so when I trim this down, I'll trim from here and trim off the bottom a little bit instead of the top and the left, because as you can see, they're already closer to the edge. And so that's that. I will clean this guy up. Ranger does have an archival ink cleaner. Sometimes in a pinch, like I normally do, I just use alcohol on like a not so much a paper towel because it leaves a lot of fibers behind, but like a terry cloth towel or something like that. If you have like a little towel that you like to use, you can definitely do that for your crafting purposes. It'll work really well. But I will clean this up and I'll be right back. So we got that cleaned up, and actually I can go ahead and remove this from the plate. You can remove it right away. Like I said, it dries pretty quick once you run it through. And I think since this will be sunflowers, I'll probably do a lot of green, like a deep green, and obviously like a yellow orange kind of thing going. It's really, really gorgeous. I mean, look at, I don't know, I don't even have words, but like, I do want to show you the reason people like a letterpress. Let me see if I can run my fingers in here. Do you hear that? I know my hands need a little lotion, but there's just a texture, you know, it's imprinted, it's impressed into your paper. It looks really nice. So I decided to grab this brown paper just to make it a little more rustic. I think that's what we'll use for our sentiment, and I'll still go ahead and use black ink, so I'm just gonna put that there. I'm gonna trim this down with a die when I'm done. So for now, I'm just going to give it one of these and get my paper on there. It's kind of right in the center. This is not the thickest paper in the world, but like I said, it'll look really nice. It'll work. That's good. And I'll just run this guy through. Look at that. And look how just gorgeous and dainty that writing is. Just like perfect. You know, there's no feathering or like, oh, kind of overstamped or like it kind of squished or anything like that, because it's that solid plate. So really nice. I'll clean that up and we'll move on. So I do want to show you, you know, after a while, like I ink on here and my whole ink will touch it. It doesn't even matter if it touches the plate. When you roll it through, it doesn't get on your project. It's really forgiving, this system. I don't mind that I get ink on here, so I just clean it off with some alcohol every once in a while. I guess if you do it immediately, you can probably get it off pretty easily. I know people tell me, oh, you can cover it with, you know, something or like plastic or like some kind of, just something like wax paper, just something you can throw away. But like for me, I don't want to create that extra waste, right? Thinking of about the environment, just to, you know, run through like a sentiment or something. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to add extra things I'm just going to toss. So for me, I just ink it on here and it doesn't hurt anything and it works just fine. So that's why mine looks like that. And yeah, if you want to cover yours, you can. Okay, so with this guy, let's go ahead and trim it down now, I suppose. Again, you can use your precision plates, this shaped, you know, die, whatever it is that you like. I think I'm going to keep it like this, so it's more of a note card thing, and then this guy will just sit on top, you know, the same kind of shape. So if we're going to take it off this side here, I don't know that I want to do a whole 4. Let me see what 4 1/8 looks like. And I think that'll be good, because it'll look like the other side, so it's very close, right, to the edge. And so I guess 5 3/8 on this side. We'll just about do that. All right, pretty good. And it can go this way, it can go this way. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, it's basically symmetrical. It's the same, right? The way that it does that way. Okay, so I will put that on an A2 size card, and actually, I do need to make a card. Excuse me, I do have to make my own card. I cut a card base the other day and I used the one side, but I didn't use the other. So this is just half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that I cut right at 5.5. And I'll go ahead and score it at 4 1/4. So we have our our card base ready to go up and down. I score it. This is a heavyweight paper, so I like to use the tool to score it up and down. Okay, so we have our card base. I can leave this for later to get cut down, but let's go ahead and see what we might want to, which size we might want to use. I was going to try to use the small enough to, you know, nest in here, but big enough to cut this is what I was looking for. So I think it's this one, the 4th one from the smallest. And I'm looking at the W up here, and I'm looking, you know, left and right to see where we can pop this and still be good. I think that looks nice right there. So I'll run that through in just a minute. That's ready to go. And again, you can just put it right on there, right? You could have ran it all through at the same time. And so I have this guy. I did bring out this cute little watercolor palette. It's more, I was gonna say it's a brighter one. It says bright palette right there. That's so funny. Hold on. I tipped it over to check something out and they fell out, my little pans. Thank you for your patience. Like, let me pop these back in here. I just noticed that one of the little feet moved. So migrate, actually 2 of them did. Let's put that one back there and let's put this one back here. It's kind of interesting that they came with little feet, so cute. I don't even know if the Spellbinders has these anymore, to be honest. I haven't seen them in a while. But I figure, you know, I'm gonna come in here. Now this has very bright colors again, so I can check this out. So it has yellow. It looks like I might have tried to mix that yellow with a little bit of red before. So what I'm going to do is put some of that yellow over here, and then maybe some of this deeper Frida red. A little still too red, so I'm going to get more yellow in there. And try to make myself a good amount. That's pretty. Because I'm going to start using it. So in here, you know, you can just kind of, I always start in the center and bring it out. That way in the center the color is darkest and then pulls out to where it might get lighter. And that's just how I do this. So I'm just going to go and do this very lightly, gently, all in here. So that on all the flowers that are just sunflowers, there's some on the sides too, and I'll be right back. Plenty of that orange, and I think I'm good. So the next one, I have like this kind of bright green, and maybe I'll go ahead and use that for like this one here that looks a little bit different than a sunflower. So I'll go through and do that, and then maybe I'll create a darker green for these other leaves, right? So just a little something here and there. That might still be a little orange bit that I didn't quite get, so let me grab a little more orange right there. And I'll color them in. So the base of this guy too, the flowers, some of them have a stem, so I would color those green, and I'll be back. Brown. I have this one here only because there's not really a brown color in here, and I'll just put some down here, and this is just a water-based marker, and just pick a little bit of that up and pop it into here, and I will be good to go with that. I don't know if you noticed I had got a little green where I didn't want it, and all I did was like squeeze the water out here and just kind of add a little more water to wash that out. So watercolor paper is forgiving. Of course, that's the whole thing, right? About it is that we can build color. Like once it dries, you can add more color if you want. You can even take some away if you just use, again, a brush that has very little liquid in it, or just very little color but has liquid in it. So yeah, that's what I got. So I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and run our sentiment through, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and take our base here. Let me see if I want it that way or do I want it this way. This way looks nicer, even though it's pretty much the same. But you know, just the way the flower shaded itself here, I like that one in the top corner. Okay, so I'm gonna put some glue. I'm just gonna stick it right down. Let's see here. The watercolor paper is phenomenal. I mean, you saw I didn't have any feathering. It was where I wanted. It was forgiving. I could clean things up. I mean, that's really great. What I'm going to do is just put something heavy on top of this. I did go ahead and get our little sentiment here. So in the meantime, I'll put some dimensionals on the back of this, and I'll hold this down with a little something on top, especially since we did the watercoloring, you know. Oh, I will say, actually, that it didn't get all warpy like some papers do when you do watercolor. I don't know if you noticed that. It was perfectly flat, basically. But I do like to put something on top. That's just what I'm used to, I guess, my habit. But that paper did really well with that. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so let's bring that up. Really, really pretty design. I love that. And then we have the wishing you a beautiful day. And I'll just pop that there. So again, free when you purchase a BetterPress, like the basic BetterPress bundle. I'll have that info in the description box along with the dates and the links. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. Images coming up, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.